Okay, so worksheet. Hopefully you've got this one. And we are going to get started. Okay, so let's look at problem 1. If you don't have this printed, you can pull it up under lesson 9 worksheet so you can look at it and you can put your answers in your notebook as we go along. All right. So number 1 says, to make concrete mix, Monica pours 34 pounds of cement, 68 pounds of sand, 14 pounds of small pebbles, and 19 pounds of large pebbles into a wheelbarrow. If she pours the mixture into 9 equal size bags, how much will each bag weigh? Okay, so first, we've got steps we're going to do. Step number 1 says we're going to find the total weight of the mixture. All right, and if you have it printed, they've given you some work room over here. And if you don't, that's fine because you can do it in your notebook. All right, so it says first step is going to find the total weight of the mixture. So we're going to start out with everything. I'm going to look. Everything is in pounds. So that's good because we don't have to convert anything over. So we're working in all pounds. Get my board so that we can use it. All right, so we're going to start off with, it says 34 pounds. LBS is the abbreviation for pounds. All right. So we have 34 pounds of cement, 68 pounds of sand, 14 pounds of small pebbles, and 19 pounds of large pebbles. So go ahead, write this down in your notebook if you need to, or if you've got it printed, you can do your work over here. Okay, so we're going to add these all up to see what we come up with. All right, so I'm going to do 4 plus 8 is 12. I know that one. 12 plus 4 more. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So these 3 are 16, and 16 plus 9. Well, I know that 16 plus 10 is 26. And if I take 1 away, because 9 is 1 less, I'm going to end up with 25. So I'm going to write 25. All right. And now I'm going to add up my tens column. So 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 plus 6 is 11. 12, 13. So I'm going to write 13. And 1 plus nothing is 1. So I end up with a total of 135 pounds. All right. All right, so it says find the total weight of the mixture. So I'm going to put that in right there. The total weight of the mixture was 135 pounds. All right, so right there is where you want to put it. Or you can write it in your notebook. The next step says, then divide the total by the number of bags. Remember, she's going to break it into, this is all in a wheelbarrow, and she's going to break it into small bags. We're going to break the total into two simpler numbers to make the division easier if necessary. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this. And it said that she was going to break it into 9 equal-sized bags. 9 equal-sized bags. So we want to take that total number of 135 and we're going to divide that up by 9. Okay? If breaking this down into smaller numbers, if that works for you, you can do that. For me, doing it like this is much more, it's just the way my brain works. I don't want to say simpler, but it's just the way I learned to do it, and it's easier for me to do it this way. So I'm going to ask 9 times what gets me to 1 without going over. Well, it has to be 0, right? Because 9 times 1 is 9, and 9's bigger than 1. So now I'm going to go 9 times what gets me to 13, as close as I can get without going over. Well, 9 times 0 is 0. 9 times 1 is 9, and I know 9 times 2 is 18. Well, 18 is bigger than 13, so I have to go with 1. So 1 times 9 is 9, and I'm going to put the answer down here and subtract. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So when I subtract, I get 4. Now, this is my check, you guys. All right? Is this smaller than this? As long as this number is smaller than this, we're good to go. If it's the same or if it's larger, then this number can be at least 1 bigger. But this is smaller. 4 is smaller than 9, so I'm good to go. And now I'm going to bring down the 5. And I'm going to just start all over again now. All right? 9 times what gets me as close to 45 without going over? Well, if you know your math facts, you know the answer already. If you don't, and you have to use a multiplication chart, you're going to use it backwards. You're going to go to the 9 column and go down to 45, the closest thing to 45, and go over and see what that is. But I know that 9 times 5, 5 times 9 is 45. And whoops, now I'm going to subtract and I get 0. So my answer is 15. So each of the 9 bags is going to weigh 15 pounds. Oh, and it says right here, it gave you room to do this. And then it says, finally, if the quotient, or find the quotient and solve the problem. So each bag will weigh blank pounds. So I am going to put, each bag is going to weigh 15 pounds. All right, so I recorded it on there, or you can write it in your notebook. Doesn't matter. Okay, so the next problem, number 2, oh, Monica, she changed her mind, it looks like. It says, what if Monica pours the mixture into 5 equal-sized bags? How much will each bag weigh? So she changed her mind on us. So we're going to take our total amount again, which was 135 pounds. And now she changed her mind and she's going to put them into 5 bags. Maybe she didn't have enough bags and she had to do 5. So now we're going to divide it out. We're going to split the 135 pounds into 5 bags and find out how much each bag should weigh. So we're just going to start over again, you guys. 5 times 0, because 5 is bigger than 1. So you can put that 0 there if it helps you. That's fine. You don't have to, but you can. Now, 5 times what gets me as close to 13 without going over? Well, I know 5 times 1 is 5. Yeah, it's smaller, but 5 times 2 is 10. That's closer to 13. 5 times 3 is, you guys know your 5s, don't you? 15. All right, so 15 is larger than 13. So I can't do 3. I have to do 5 times 2. So 2 times 5 is 10. I write the answer down there and subtract, and I end up with 3. Remember, this is where we check, and I go 3 is smaller than 5. So we're good to go. I'm going to bring my next number down, and now I'm going to start all over. 5 times what gets me as close to 35 without going over? Well, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. 5 times 7. And we said 5 times 7 is 35. And you end up with 0. So to answer, it says, how much will each bag weigh? Each bag is going to weigh 27 pounds. Make sure you label that. All right. And I wrote pounds out this time. So 27 pounds. All right, so let's look at number 3. Taylor is building a doghouse to sell. That sounds like fun. Each doghouse requires 3 full sheets of plywood, which Taylor cuts into new shapes. The plywood is shipped in bundles of 14 full sheets. How many doghouses can Taylor make from 12 bundles of plywood? All right. Well, she has 14. The plywood is shipped in bundles of 14 sheets, and she orders 12 bundles. So I think we got to figure out how many sheets of plywood she has all together first. So if she has 14 sheets in each bundle, and she has 12 bundles that she's purchased all together, that means if I multiply this, it should tell me how many sheets of plywood she has all together. Now, yes, you could do 14 plus 14 plus 14 plus 14 plus 14 plus 12 times, and you should get the same answer. But that's going to be a lot more work and a lot more room for error than multiplying. All right? So we're going to start out and we're going to multiply. So over here, I'm going to figure out what 2 times 14 is. That's the answer I'm going to put here. So I'm going to pretend that that's not even there right now. All right? And do 2 times 14. So 2 times 2 is 8. And 2 times 1 is 2. And that's it. All right? Now, I can't just make that go away. It's really there. So over here, I'm going to multiply. This is actually 10, right? Because that's in the tens position. 10 times 14. And you might be able to look at this because it is a power of 10 and give me the answer like that. Or I can say, since I'm multiplying by a 10, I've got to put a 0 in the 1 spot because I'm starting with groups of 10. I've already done the 1s up here. And 1 times 4 is 4, and 1 times 1 is 1. Did you get 140 there? Yep. And now I'm going to add them together. So I have 8 here, 2 plus 4 is 6, and 1 plus nothing is 1. So I know she has 168 sheets of plywood.